What's going on, guys? So I'm actually heading to my friend's house to hopefully help him figure out what's going on with his truck. It's not starting right now, so we'll see. I get asked a question at least 5 to 10 times a week. What engine should I swap into my Nissan Hardbody? So I'll try to make this as concise as possible. It's a hard question just to answer right off the bat because I don't know your budget. I don't know what you're doing with the truck, drag, drifts, autocross, whatever, maybe general purpose all around. And I also don't know your experience level. I don't know how familiar you are with swaps and stuff like that. So kind of what I've done is I've thought about an engine that fills a few check boxes, and this is what I think. You want something that's affordable, something that's abundant, something that's serviceable, reliable, and I think the one engine that really fits that box well would be a VQ35 or VQ37. It makes good power. It's a great engine. It's very reliable in the 320 to 340 wheel horsepower range. It's made it up to arguably one of Nissan's best transmissions, the CD009 and the future revisions after that. Excellent 6-speed. They're affordable. I mean, you can find them everywhere. You can go to local junkyards and find, probably 20 G35s in there. No joke, like, not even kidding. And source parts off of them, or if you need to run up to AutoZone or O'Reilly's, pick up a starter, alternator, coil, whatever you need, you can get it for it because it was made here in the United States. Some folks were asking me about the SR20. I don't recommend it. It's a very old engine. It's very dated technology. A lot of them have been sitting around for a really long time, have some issues with that. They've been not treated nicely due to their popularity in the drifting community. And I mean, again, going back to what I just said, they're old. I mean, we're talking the last iteration that we were ever really interested in was the 2002 S15 SR20. And that was 19 years ago, if you think. It was probably manufactured in 2001. So it's 19 years old, and that's the newest version. There's people putting red tops. So if you already have an SR like me, and it doesn't make sense for you to get rid of it, or it doesn't make sense for you to swap anything else, well then yeah, obviously. I wasn't gonna lose my butt on my SR. I fully built that thing myself. A lot of money, a lot of time went into that thing, so I wasn't just gonna sell it and lose a ton of money. That's the only reason I swapped it in there. However, there are far better options, and I think the VQ is much better swap than maybe my SR is, because my SR, yeah, it puts out about 350, 360 wheel horsepower, and yeah, I built it to handle about 550. So, slap like a G25 Garrett on it, I could probably make 500 horsepower on E85, no problem, and I wouldn't have to really worry about it. But the thing is that a truck that light, we're talking between 2,500 and 3,000 pounds is where our vehicles sit. Some people have the 4-wheel drive trucks and a little bit heavier, depending on what model they have, but they don't really exceed 3,000 pounds. My truck, fully stripped, everything being removed from it and everything, it's going to be somewhere around the 2,500, 2,600 pound mark. 300 horsepower in something like that is incredible. And if you haven't ridden in a car that weighs around 2,800 pounds with 300 wheel horsepower, I suggest you do that before making your decision, because I think a lot of people forget and they get lost in the whole Internet of Things when everybody has 1,000 horsepower builds, how fast that truly is. So, maybe food for thought. I personally think the best engine that you could have is the one that's in your truck running. So if you don't have a shell or your engine's not blown and you have a KA24E in there, whatever gets your butt out to the track. So if you're looking to drift and you just don't think it will, I'm living proof that a 272,000 mile tired KA can go out and drift and you can have fun with your friends. So I'm a firm believer in seat time over build time. But with that being said, not all of us are geared for that, and not all of us want that old truck engine in our trucks anymore. The KA24E, I get asked about that a lot, whether or not it should get boosted, or I have my opinions about that, and some people are not going to agree with it, but it's again, it's falling in that very old engine, old technology. It's a truck engine, wasn't designed for it. Sure, you could hodgepodge together a little turbo kit to make it work and make some power or whatever, but it's not going to be long before you open that thing up. before you have to sit there and open up and start addressing the internals. It was not intended for boost. It was not intended for turbocharged application. At some point, especially when you want to start peaking around the 300 wheel horsepower, for reliability, you're going to have to open that engine up. If you're wanting to stay 4-cylinder and you want the best bang for your buck, honestly, guys, there's going to be some dislike buttons on this one. But seriously, speaking from experience, if you're wanting a 4-cylinder that you could later turbocharge and you want to go that route, K-Series Honda motor. Guys, I'm not joking. I am a believer now. My friend Chris, he has a K20 in his Civic, and I rode in that thing, and it's breathtakingly fast for an NA car. So quick. And it's NA with individual throttle bodies, and he plans on boosting it or whatever, and then next thing you know, that thing is probably going to be insane. Again, affordability. You can get those things everywhere. You can find them for cheap all over the place. You can go to your local auto parts store and find parts for them. It's not hard to get things because they were made here in the United States. And you know, K-Series are all over the place. So great 4-cylinder engine, a lot newer technology. Hell, you don't even have to sleeve those things until almost 500 horsepower for reliability. That's insane to me for an open deck design like that. It just blows my mind. Hondas are built to run. I am a believer now. And then on the V8 side, if you guys are wanting a V8, obviously LS. I mean, what more do you want? That's an obvious choice. They make great power. You can find them in junkyards pretty easily, refresh them. You know, an L33 5.3 liter with some good head work on it, made it up to a T56. I mean, what more do you want? That's a great engine combination. I can't hate. I've owned LS powered cars, and I've ridden in plenty of LS powered cars, and there's no denying the power that that engine puts down to the ground. That low end torque is just unbelievably fast in vehicles that weigh 26 to 2,800 pounds. So yeah, I might get some keyboard warriors that hate what I'm saying right now, but unless you've ridden in them and you've felt them, it's kind of hard to deny something. If you guys know me at all, you'll know that my favorite engines are straight 6s, though. You know, your 2JZs, your 1Js, your 1.5Js, RBs. I love RB25 Neo. It's one of my favorite engines, despite its many oiling issues associated with the head and also the oil pump drive. The crank snout's too short on the 25 Neos. But anyway, despite all of its shortcomings, I do love straight 6s, but in our trucks, they just don't really make a whole lot of sense unless you're going to cut the firewall, move them back a little bit, because those things would be really, really nose heavy. A good majority of the weight is going to be sitting over the front wheels, and that's not what you want in something that's performance oriented, unless of course it's specifically built for drag racing. Then who cares? But if you're wanting it something to kind of attack everything, you don't want all that weight. If you don't believe me how much those things weigh, go check out my engine weight series video. I actually weighed a 2J with an R154 trans as well. They are not light, okay? And again, like I said, a lot of that weight is sitting over the front wheels, which for handling characteristics is not a good thing, let me tell you. So, sorry, I'm trying to navigate through these little roads. It's a little tiny back road right here. So yeah, I don't really recommend a straight 6 in our trucks just due to the length of the engine bay and all the stuff that you're going to have to modify. It's not going to be an easy installation. It's not going to be cost effective either. I mean, you're going to have to put some money into it. RBs are not cheap anymore. Not really. 2JZs, come on, they're getting pretty darn expensive now. Same with LSs. I mean, you can't, other than the engine, but the transmission's what kills you on the LSs. The T56 transes, oh my gosh, they are so darn expensive now. And it's like, well, yeah, you can adapt them to a 009. Well, sure, but the adaptation kit is pretty expensive. And by the time you adapt a 009, you're spending T56 money anyways. So it's kind of like one of those things. LSs are kind of expensive. That's why I kind of leaned more towards the VQ as an every person swap to kind of fit everyone's budget / everyone's skill set, because it's not that hard anymore. One of the issues with VQs in the past was wiring. Everyone was really afraid of wiring. I took the wrong turn. I haven't been here in a while. I actually took the wrong turn, so I have to turn around. One of the biggest scares for VQ swaps was the electrical. A lot of people didn't want to figure that out because of NATS, the Nissan anti-theft system. It would immobilize the ECU if there wasn't a three-way handshake. Well, now you can actually tune that out with like a pro tuner. They can get rid of that when you're tuning your ECU. So that's not so much of a scary thing anymore as it used to be. And now it's just like wiring up any other engine into your car. I don't know. That's just it. I'm trying not to drag this video out. What am I at? Oh yeah, 10 minutes and 30. I think that's good enough. So yeah, that's my answer, guys. If you want a nice 4-cylinder, get like a K24, K20. If you're wanting a V6 or a 6-cylinder or whatever, I would say VQ. That's a great power plant. It's a great option. It fits a lot of budgets and stuff like that. It's a good deal. And obviously, if you have the money to do an LS or something like that, then by all means, it's a great engine swap. So that's my opinion. VQ 35, VQ 37 is my pick for what you should probably put into your hard body. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.